everyone, it's Cindy and welcome back to Tuesday 10, which is where I take usually 10 things out of my big bin of leftover papers and pages, and I keep making until I have used up those 10 pages. But today is going to be a little bit different, not that different, in that the pages that I'm using are actually relating to the fairy journals that I'm making, so it's kind of the fairy edition of Tuesday 10, and some of them did come from Tuesday 10. So this is a page of wings that's kind of a misprint that I printed the wrong size, that I also a little piece of tape got stuck here, so it's just been in my misprinted digitals. This one is another page from my Tuesday 10 bin, and so is this page of labels, which had the same problem. I actually printed them on the same day at the wrong size. So there's those. Those are from the Tuesday 10 bin. The rest of this is all digitals that I had printed for the fairy journals, and they're kind of collage pages. So I want to try to get those used up if I can. And then I've also, because I have that page of wings, I've got a few different Tim Holtz paper dolls that I was thinking would make really cute fairies. So that is my plan for today. We're going to make fairy ephemera. So let's jump into it. I've got scraps and everything off to the side to use. Yeah, so I think what I'll do, so these are scans of the Fairyopolis book from what I can tell from this digital. I don't recall who I got this from, but I'm actually not going to share that anyways because they're from the Fairyopolis book, which I actually have a copy of right here that I have been tearing up for these journals. So I'm only going to use these pages that I printed. And I'm just going to cut these apart. So these are like little, basically the book is like little journal entries, and it's designed to look like the journal of Cicely Mary Barker, who is the artist behind the flower fairies that we all know and love. So I'm just going to kind of cut these into the shapes that I think I'll use. Fairy dust. So let's start with these 4 and see what we want to do here. And I may end up using a little other bits from this stuff, but let's just get started here with these. I'll set them off to the side. Actually, there we go. Perfect. Okay, let's start with this big one. So this is a little journal entry about fairies, like most of these are, and this is some fairy dust, and this is her pen that she's writing with me. I have a couple little fairies at the bottom here. So I will grab the fairy wings. Now this is vellum. I don't know if you can tell, this is vellum. So they're going to be transparent, and I'm trying to decide which wings I would like on here. I think some green or maybe even the black. We'll start with this one because it's right at the top here. So what I'm going to do is just separate one set of wings here. And I'm not going to fussy cut them. I'm just going to kind of cut around them a little bit because it's vellum, so you don't have to be really precise. So today is supposed to be an oppressively hot day. The next couple of days are, so I'm pretty sure that I'm going to just be spending time with the kiddos in the pool. That is probably my plan. I like these 3 girls here. I'm probably going to cut them apart. They're so cute. I'm thinking it'd be cute to have them sitting on some like mushrooms or toadstools, so I might grab one of my mushroom books. Okay, so she's pretty lovely. Now she is standing up quite straight, and she is quite large. I may need to cut these apart if I decide to use her, just so we can angle them a little differently. Let me see if they'll even like look good with her. Let me see. So if we stood her here and I were to clip them apart, then I could have them like that, and they could actually just be left. I don't even have to fully glue them down, but we'll see. Yeah, that's cute. All right, let's do that. So we'll snip these wings apart. Just kind of trim around them a little. I definitely took the whole weekend off from filming, which I didn't intend to do. It was just very busy. I have a lot of things kind of all jammed up together here. I've got house guests this week, then I'm on vacation next week, and then the day that I get back, I literally just need to load up my car because my show is the very next day, the Kawartha Fiber Festival. So I have been a busy bee. I have gotten a lot done, but I have a lot more to do. But after this, I'm definitely going to be freer to kind of do a lot more videos and journal related stuff. I just have to get over this little hurdle of stuff I have to finish. And this one might actually just hang off the page, which is okay. We'll just clip it off. So yeah, that's my whole thing. And I actually had a video planned for something, and someone else made a video that's exactly the same. It's so funny. So I didn't get it done this weekend, so I will leave that, and I will do my own take on it a little later when I think about how I want to present it. It's funny how creativity runs like that. That's why I'm never too quick to judge about people copying, because to be completely honest, it's not unusual to come up with the same kinds of ideas when you're in a particular niche in the art or craft world. Okay, let's say right there. So they're kind of coming up from her shoulders. Here we go. I had the funniest thing happen yesterday. I was working down here on the fairy journals, and I could not find this bottle of glue. I'm like, where is my art glitter glue? So it must have fallen in my recycle bin, like right next to me. So I had to like dig through my big recycle bin. And I found it. I was happy about that. I knew it. Okay, so what else do we want to do with this? You know, I'm thinking a little bit of spray might be nice. A little bit of this. I have this nice pink acrylic spray. Thinking that could be very cute, but I'm just going to cover up a couple things. So one, I'll cover these little fairies' faces down here, and I'll cover up her face as well. And I'm not going to worry about like shielding this paper down here because I use it as like a desk covering. And it actually makes a really cool paper when I'm done with it. There we go. And this is really fast drying acrylic spray, so I'm not even going to worry too hard about drying it. Now, do we want to do a little more collage-y type stuff on it, or maybe some washi tape or something to just give it a little extra something? This is cute washi tape. Maybe here. Maybe not. It doesn't work exactly as I'd imagined. Let's see if there's something else that's small that I want to add on here. I feel like I want to add a little something else. Just looking at my scraps. These are from pages that I've cut from the pages I'll be using in the fairy journal. So there's lots of loveliness left over on these pages. I also went to the art store and got more of the beautiful glittery paper that I want to use in parts of the journals. Thinking maybe that would be cute somewhere. Yeah, let's do that. But I had a really nice weekend. We went to the Ecology Center yesterday, and that was a lot of fun. We saw lots of frogs and turtles and snakes and birds. There's a snake hibernarium there, so it was really nice. and my daughter had an amazing time at her Sparks camp. I somehow quelled all of my worries, and it was really nice to see the independence. Actually, when I got there to pick her up, I saw her walking independently with another 5-year-old. They were going to the washroom together, which is like across from where the camp was, and so it was kind of nice to see the independence of them going together and using the buddy system, and yeah, that was good. And it was funny because as we pulled into the parking lot at the conservation center where they met, all I could hear was her just like screaming, like laughing, screaming. It was funny. So she had fun. There was also a dragon boat race at the same conservation area, so the kids got to spend some time watching the dragon boat races, which was pretty fun. I got to see them too, and we saw a couple of super cute little dogs. That was nice. Just an extra bonus. Okay, I'm gonna call that done, I think. I might round the corners on it though. Go. My desk is like too jammed. I feel very closed in right now. I have to move some stuff around. Here we go. Just 2 seconds here. There, that's better. Just had a paper that was kind of bending forward and getting in the way. Because I have a lot of stuff around to make fairy ephemera, and it's just going to be a little jammed for a while as I make this series of journals. Okay, let's do something with this next. So what do we want to do with it? It's cute, but you know, I think let's get the mullet and see what I want to do here. I have discovered in a drawer a book of fairy tales belonging to Edith. Remarkable that she too has an interest in the fairies. So Edith was Cicely Mary Barker's best friend. And I always think of Edith Holden for some reason. I don't know, I just do. So we have to think about, what do we want to do with this? It would be a really cute pocket. I'm going to trim it a little more here. There we go. I think I might put it on some scrappy paper, or possibly this. Nice dyed paper. I'm going to lose the whole thing though. It's a Canada stamp on here from a letter that I received. Maybe we'll just leave it on there. Just as a little something. Colors actually go quite cute. Let's make a pocket with that. Yeah, so I have lots to do. I started packing all of I got all my yarn labeled last night and packed into this big waterproof bag that I always carry my yarn in, and so that was good. And then I got a bunch of my little stuff packed, all the little things, and I've also decided I'm going to do like a clear out of end of line stuff, which is actually really nice stuff too. It's sock yarn that I've dyed, that I've just decided I don't want to dye sock yarn right now. I'm going to take a break from dyeing commercial yarn and just focus on hand spun yarn and journals and other creative endeavors for now. So if you are planning on attending the Kawartha Fiber Festival on June 11th in the Kawartha Lakes, I will be there, and I will have lots of yarn that I'm clearing out that I have hand dyed. It's beautiful yarn. It's just It's kind of the end of the line for me for that particular run of yarn. Okay. I'm just going to leave this bit of this brown page on here because I like that. Now, do we want to put something else on here? I kind of like it just as it is, but I'll definitely add some stitching around. Just going to move my fairy ephemera out of the way. I have this massive, look how huge this is. This is all stuff that I'm going to be using for fairy ephemera. I've just got so much. It's a lot of stuff. And then I've got another basket that's not as big as that one that is full of the completed fairy ephemera. It's kind of pretty. I think a little bit of that might be nice as just something to pop a little. This is from a bunch of fabric that I got. It was all for dance costumes. And there was someone she was clearing out her fabric. She was a costume maker for like girls like dance competition. Ooh, that is way too much glue. Let's just get our fingers in there and fix that problem. But yeah, she had a lot of beautiful fabric and I've used a lot of it. And she was donating it to my recycling center. And I saw it and I was like, ooh. Oops. Yeah, we did a little bit of a trash pickup on the weekend, which was nice. And I'm also thinking a lot about how when I don't have to worry about doing shows, because I'm going to take a little break from doing shows, all the free time I'm going to have, that I'm not going to have to be like planning, you know, what I'm going to do at a show and how I'm going to do it and preparing, making things. So I'll be able to focus, you know, a lot more time on my Etsy shop and my YouTube, and I'll be able to spend more time with the kiddos, and all around I think it's just going to be a good thing. Just going to get some packaging paper here. And then I'm also planning, I've had this plan for a long time. I have been for many years collecting and a bit of making interesting and like kids clothes, like designer kids clothes, vintage, and some handmade kids clothes. And I have another Etsy shop that I want to start populating with all that good stuff, because I've had it here for a while now, and I haven't done anything with it. And it was always my plan to have like a vintage kids kind of shop with vintage toys and vintage kids clothing. So that is the plan. I'm going to put this on some more sturdy paper now. So I'm going to be photographing a lot of that clothing and getting it posted soon, and I'm looking forward to that, because it's also going to give me an outlet for like selling a lot of vintage stuff and childlike kind of fun stuff that I've wanted to do for a long time. That's super cute. We'll put a little bit of glue here. I'm going to make this a pocket, I think. Okay. No. Too skinny. Is paper too skinny? Actually, no, it's fine. I'm going to glue this down on this sturdier glue page. The back doesn't matter because it's going to be a pocket, not a journaling card. It's going to be like a double pocket. This little freeform tuck spot here, so you'll be able to tuck something in here. And it's just going to be attached at the bottom, and I'm going to stitch around it as well. I might even put a flower on the top when I stitch it. I've got to bring my basket of silk flowers over. I have many bags of silk flowers. I've been collecting them for years because I also use them in the yarns that I spin. And they're all sorted by colors. And then I have one basket that I got from a yard sale. She was a woman who had her own like craft and flower business, and it's just a big like tote of all different random silk flowers, beautiful ones. And I think I'm going to be using a lot of those in these journals because, you know, fairies and flowers and flower fairies, it's all just meant to be. Also been using my salvage patina a lot lately, which is nice. It's such a beautiful color. Okay, now this one, this is like an autumnal kind of fairy. Another little journal entry. It's got green and some acorns. I think it would pair nicely with one of these, maybe, because these are the same thing. Maybe we could even do something with both of them. Yeah, I think I'll go with that. I don't know if there's anything in my Tuesday 10 bin over here. Here we go. This is what I was looking for. So I've had this big piece of paper with this beautiful tree, and I was thinking it would make a really cool envelope. Where's my envelope template? Here it is. Put on the back here and a marker. Come here. Sorry for the noise. I have a tangle of tools here. Planning a total revamp of my space here soon. I just don't have enough time in the day right now. This marker is dying, but this is what its last project will be, I think. We'll see. If it can give me a general line that I can see, then I'm fine. Spent the morning reading and watching videos about Ecuador and the Galapagos Islands with my daughter. That's what we're studying this week. Okay, we're going to retire this poor thing. Sometimes these Sharpies are so fickle, I don't know. Sometimes they work and other times they don't, so I always am like, should I get rid of you or shouldn't I? Okay. And it was really cute when I dropped my daughter off at camp. Went over to talk to like all the leaders and stuff, and they were opening up, like on the conservation area, there's like a covered shelter with picnic tables under it, and inside there they've got an electrical like a box with plugins and stuff. So when the leader opened up the box, she's like, okay, there's birds in the electrical box. And so I was like, what? So I looked inside, and it was so cute. There was a little nest of robins in there. And because of where they were, like, they were really, really well sheltered. And So there were actually 6 little robins in the nest, and I've never seen so many, you know, because usually they get to a stage where they start to like crowd each other out. So you've got all these little robins hopping around by that age, and this time they were all super like happy and adorable in their little nest. I was like, this is the best. It's so cute. So it was great because we were actually the first ones there. This is just me. I'm always early for things because I get anxious that I'm going to be late. 100% me. So my daughter got a lot of nice attention from the leaders, and they were like, oh, go, you know, stand up on the table, and like they were holding her up on the table so she could look at the birds, and it was nice. I've got to say, the women who are the leaders in the Girl Guides organization are pretty awesome, I gotta say. Like, it's something I've been considering volunteering for, and I may still. I'm hesitating because right now, just because I want my daughter to get a little bit of independence from me, because I'm always there. I'm always with her, and I want her to, you know, bond with other women and have many voices and perspectives in her life, you know. So I'm trying to hold back a little bit, but it does seem like it would be a lot of fun. Thinking of making like an envelope clustery type thing, but then I kind of hide that whole thing. This could go inside the envelope. That would be cute. And this could go on the outside actually, because they go together, and then I wouldn't lose that whole flowery beautiful envelope, or leafy. Yeah, I like that. Let's ink the back a little with some vintage photo, which I have hanging around here somewhere. But anyways, yeah, so the women are really cool, and I think that it's very, like, nice to, like, teach young girls about a lot of survival type, or like, I hate to use the word resilient, because that word gets, like, used to, in a lot of bad ways, too. Not to teach resiliency, but to teach preparedness, and to teach logic, and common sense, and, you know, get tips and tactics for being outdoors and safety and all that kind of good stuff. And that just makes me really, really happy. And I know, you know, just being with them, they're really good with the girls. Although my daughter at the age of 5, she's like, Mom, why aren't there any boys in this class? And like, that's a complicated thing to explain too, because, you know, I think that was formed at a time when there was like the wrong things were guiding that, you know. But like, I just explained to her, and I also feel like maybe it might be a little complicated to have, you know, both like girls and boys. There's a few different reasons, I think, you know, the responsibility, the comfort level, the number of kids that would end up in a troop, and, you know, for overnight things, and the varying opinions of parents. Like, I think there's a lot of things, most of which I'd say are quite backwards and old world thinking, that keep the segregated group, you know. But I'm not gonna really dwell on that too much, because there's lots of other things where I can provide a co-ed kind of experience, or, you know, an experience with all genders of people. So I'm not too concerned at the moment. A dictionary of fairy trees. That's really cute. And I'm going to leave the nature book visible because it's just really pretty. So yeah, let's be done with that one. Okay, what's next? So we have all these little bits and bobs. I like this, and these are cute. What is a fairy? Let's go with what is a fairy. I know these pages are more than likely meant to be torn, but I kind of want to use them this way. It's kind of cute. I need something purple. I need some purpliness. Now the nice thing about this project is, like, a lot of what, like, I'm able to do is going to be kind of color themed, because I'm sort of doing a color theme with the journals, not all of them, but like you'll see So one of the purple ones, you know, like this is a nice piece of ephemera that'll probably end up in this journal because it has a purple theme. I haven't been going like all purple, but I'll show you a little bit of what I've been doing. So I printed some vellum in these nice things. So yeah, there's lots of fun stuff going on. You'll see more later. I don't want to like hog up Tuesday 10 with this, but yeah, I'm able to work in nice color themes, which is great. I just need to move a couple things. I'm looking at, I want to use some fabric too. I want some fabric elements in these journals. Like, I like that. That's cool. This would be like a neat fabric flip maybe. And what I would do is I would actually stitch these on here. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to take a quick stitch break. Okay, I am back. So I've stitched around this one. I stitched around this one. And then I've stitched these onto the fabric flip. I think that's cute. Okay, those are done. This one I'm not going to stitch. This one I'm not going to stitch. They're good as is. So, shall we continue? Okay. What else do I want to use here? Let me see. Put this paper. I could really make a signature that was kind of cool with this. So it's a whole piece of paper. So all right. So I need to do something interesting with the back side because it's boring. Let's start with maybe a little vintage photo. And a little salvage patina. And these are oxides. So let's grab some water. We'll just let it kind of sit for a minute and do its thing. Let that oxide kind of move a little. Okay, and then we'll dry. Okay, this is just an old piece of linen that I kind of use for sopping up paint and ink and just sort of just, yeah, it just hangs around and gets rougher and rougher. So, all right, so we're mostly dry, not completely. But I think what I would like to do is maybe use some of these little tree information cards. So I think what I'll do, is going to glue around the edge of both. Ignore this little bit of rust in my glue. It's from that pin. It's a little rusty. No worries. Okay. So glue around the edge of both. Then I'll pop one on an angle like this. I just want it to stick out a bit. And then we'll match up this one over here like this. And I'll actually fold this paper too now. Okay. And don't worry if they don't line up exactly. We're going to go back in ink, so it's just going to look like weathered paper on the back. I just think this is going to make a nice edge for this. Make sure we're upside. Wipe the excess glue off here. Okay, that's that side. And then we'll do the other side as well. Yeah, so next week I'm going to be on vacation, so I don't know what that means in terms of video. I will try to film ahead maybe a little bit, if I can. But I may also try to share a few videos from vacation, like little shorts or something. I shall see what is possible. Probably going to be spending lots of time at the beach. Okay. Well, let's go back and just we'll ink around to cover up any of those white edges, just so it all blends nicely on both sides. There we go. Alright, so now we have that. And then, I don't know if I want to put maybe something else on there, although it's probably busy enough. That's probably busy enough, because you can write on here, and obviously you could write in here. Yeah, that's probably busy enough, I think. Let's put this inside one of the journals. And just get a look here. Yeah, I can go in that one. So the nice thing with this is that there's plenty of space, like in this journal, that it's not going to jut out of the book. And these little corners will be protected, so that's kind of nice. So, okay, that's another page for that book. So I'm leaving that one in the journal, so it's not going to be part of the, hey, we finished this at the end. Though I'm probably getting close to a video soon here. We'll see. All right, let's go with this stuff. So, fairies are called by different names in different places. So that's a nice little, like an open book type thing. And again with this pretty purple. Just looking for what I want to use here. Oh, this is cool. I've got some nice old book page that's rough that I've painted on. So let's just fold that in half. Okay, maybe put that there. Then let's grab another one of those little paper dolls. These little guys here. There we go. Maybe just a little one. They would be cute. Then I need some wings for these little ones. These wings are quite large. What I think I'll do is I will take one set of wings that I think will go with this, like this. And I'm going to make 2 sets of wings out of this one set of wings. Okay, just doing a little filming check to make sure that we're still filming. Okay. Yeah, okay, let's glue these on first and then the others. Okay, so let's start by gluing this down. Little jam in here. There we go. Okay. Let's put this on an angle. Then glue our wings on. our little girls here so that I can get the wing in the right spot. This one goes on this side, actually. No, it goes on that side. What am I thinking? Yeah. Okay, 1. 2. That one gets kind of hidden, but that's okay because we wouldn't want to hide the paper doll. So let's get those glued on. This wing needs to get pushed a little. There we go. All right. Perfect. And I'm going to cut out this little, this is like a little note that says, "Goodbye, dear fairies. Thank you for allowing me to know of your presence." And 4, and then it cuts off because it's folded. I'm going to put this maybe down here, right where this little tear is in this piece of paper. That's where I cut out a word. Okay, so I think I will make a journal card with this that's kind of like bigger, like it's going to look like a note, and I'm going to stitch around here. I might add a little something up here to hide this word blood. Of course, Black Beauty, it's like a never-endingly sad, violent story. Just don't understand why. Why is Black Beauty such a terrible story? Child trauma. I thankfully never read it. I am happy, but as I've gone through the book, I think I've mentioned this in a couple other videos, probably excessively. So violent and mean. It's like how to give children nightmares 101. Okay, there we go. Let's just put that up there. And then we don't have to see that word. Alright, that there. And now we need to back this with some packaging paper. Which I have an excessive amount of at the moment. So I'm trying to use up packaging paper. Okay. Sorry for that little blip. I just had to change batteries, as I usually do with Tuesday 10. I think I'm actually just going to take a break and stitch this. Hold on. Okay, so I've stitched all around this, and now I've decided I want to add a little bit of this sequin, like iridescent bluey purpley trim here. somewhere. So I'm thinking at the top would be nice. Or possibly over here. But no, I think top. It all depends if it's going to be slid into a pocket or not, right? Which I don't really anticipate. So I am going to put it at the bottom because I think that will work. I've got this whole bottle of Fabri-Tac here. Sorry about that. My camera is being funny. But not haha funny, just annoying. Okay. Anyways, so yeah, I'm going to put this on here. Okay, so I think we probably are at the end of a Tuesday 10 video because I've definitely used 10 things, not the whole 10 pages. That would be like forever, but I'm probably going to continue in this manner, making ephemera in the next fairy videos because I do just want to keep going. So we've got 2 pieces on here. There's like 2 more in here. Yeah, I've definitely used 10 pieces. So let's just go through and see what we made. So first there's that signature that I put in the journal. And then we have this one. This is like a journaling card. It could also be a pocket. We have this envelope here with journal card inside. Let me just pop it out here. Did I glue it too soon? I may have. Oh no, there it is. Okay, we're all good. Yeah, journal card inside this envelope. And then this little tuck spot here. And a fabric flip. And this is a large pocket. And then this journal card. So I'm going to continue along making fairy ephemera, and I will see you in the next video. Have a great day, and bye for now.